Bruce Lee walks into Tommy's boxing gym in downtown Los Angeles, carrying nothing but a small gym bag and a quiet confidence that fills the room. It's April 1968, a Tuesday afternoon, when the spring heat makes the air inside thick enough to taste. What happens in the next 20 minutes? Does UNT just change? One champion's perspective, it revolutionizes how an entire generation understands the relationship between different fighting styles. Tommy's boxing gym sits on the corner of 5th and Main, a 3-story brick building that's seen better days. The windows are covered with years of grime and sweat residue. Inside, the smell hits you first: leather, sweat, liniment oil, and ambition mixed into an atmosphere that has been the same since 1947. The walls are covered with photos of champions who trained here, black and white images of men with broken noses and determined eyes. Men who understand that fighting isn't a hobby, it's a calling. The gym is packed this afternoon. About 40 people spread across the space. Boxers working heavy bags in the back corner, their rhythmic combinations creating a percussion section that never stops. 2 rings dominate the center, one for sparring, one for technique work. Speed bags rattle against their platforms. Jump ropes whisper against worn wooden floors. Trainers shout corrections. Everything smells like hard work and old dreams. Bruce Lee enters wearing simple black training pants and a white t-shirt. No fancy martial arts uniform, no silk dragon patterns, just clean, functional training clothes. He's 27 years old, 5'7", 135 pounds of precisely calibrated muscle and tendon. By boxing standards, he's a lightweight, maybe even less. In this room full of welterweights, middleweights, and heavyweights, Bruce looks almost fragile, almost insignificant. But the way he moves catches attention immediately. He doesn't walk like most people. Each step is deliberate, balanced, grounded. His posture is perfect, without looking stiff. His eyes take in everything: the layout, the people, the energy, the dynamics of who matters and who doesn't in this space. He's reading the room like a book, understanding its language, its hierarchy, its unspoken rules. Bruce walks to an empty corner near the windows and sets down his bag. He starts warming up with movements that look strange to the boxers watching. He's not shadowboxing. He's flowing through positions that don't make sense in a boxing context. Low stances that would get you punched in a ring. High kicks that leave you vulnerable. Hand positions that aren't guarding anything important. A few boxers notice and nudge their training partners. They're amused, confused. Some are dismissive. This is a boxing gym. What's this guy doing with his kung fu stuff? This isn't a Bruce Lee movie set. This is where real fighters train. Then someone recognizes him. Hey, that's Bruce Lee, the guy from the Green Hornet show. Recognition spreads through the gym like ripples in water. Bruce Lee, the martial arts guy who plays Kato on TV. The one who does all those fancy kicks and chops. Entertainment, not real fighting. Movies and television. Choreography and camera tricks. In the far ring, Marcus the Hammer Johnson is working mitts with his trainer. Marcus is 29 years old, 6 feet tall, 175 pounds of muscle and scar tissue. He's the California State welterweight champion, holding the title for 3 years running. 17 wins, 2 losses, 14 knockouts. He's legitimate, he's proven. He's everything a boxer should be: tough, skilled, powerful, and absolutely convinced that boxing is the only real fighting art that matters. Marcus has strong opinions about martial arts. He thinks it's dancing. He thinks it's movie stuff. He thinks these kung fu guys with their forms and their stances and their tradition wouldn't last 10 seconds in a real fight with a real boxer who knows how to actually punch, how to actually move, how to actually hurt someone. Marcus's trainer, Old Man Davey, is a legend in Los Angeles boxing circles. He's 67 years old, trained champions for 40 years, seen everything, knows everything about boxing. He's skeptical of anything that isn't boxing, wrestling, too focused on grappling, karate, too rigid, kung fu, pure performance art. Davey sees Bruce warming up and says to Marcus, loud enough for people nearby to hear, "Look at this kung fu guy doing his little dance. Probably thinks he can fight." Marcus grins. He's confident, bordering on arrogant, but he's earned it. He's been in real fights. He's tasted his own blood. He's broken his hands on other men's faces. He knows what real combat feels like. Not choreographed movie fights. Real fights where you might get hurt badly. Marcus calls out across the gym, "Hey, Kato, you looking for the movie set? This is a boxing gym. We do real fighting here." The gym goes quiet. Everyone stops. Heavy bags stop swinging. Speed bags go silent. Conversations die mid-sentence. 40 people turn to watch what happens next. Bruce stops his warm-up, turns slowly toward Marcus. His expression doesn't change. No anger, no embarrassment, just calm attention. He's been challenged before. This isn't new. What matters is how he responds. Bruce says simply, "I'm just here to train." No disrespect intended. His voice is calm, clear, with a slight accent that makes some of the boxers smile. They hear politeness. They interpret it as weakness. Marcus steps out of the ring, walks toward Bruce with the confident swagger of a champion in his own territory. He's not aggressive exactly, but he's establishing dominance. This is his gym, his space, his domain. Train for what? Marcus asks. Movie fighting. Because what you're doing over here, that's not real fighting. That's performance art. Real fighting is what we do here. Boxing, the sweet science. The only martial art that actually works when someone's trying to knock your head off. Bruce listens without interrupting. He understands what's happening. This isn't just about him. This is about territory, about identity, about the boxing community's deep-seated belief that their art is superior to everything else. He's not going to change that belief with words. Bruce says, "Boxing is excellent, very effective, very proven. I respect it completely." Marcus wasn't expecting agreement. He pauses, recalibrates. "But," he says, sensing there's more. "But," Bruce continues, "fighting is bigger than just boxing. Boxing is one tool, a very good tool, but limiting yourself to just one tool limits your effectiveness as a fighter." Now Marcus is irritated. "Limits me. I'm the state champion. I've knocked out guys who outweigh me by 20 pounds. I've fought in front of thousands of people. What have you done besides fake fight on TV?" Bruce could get defensive here, could list his credentials, his training, his background, but he doesn't. Instead, he asks a question. "Have you ever fought someone who doesn't follow boxing rules?" Marcus laughs. "There are no rules in a real street fight. That's where boxing shines. We train for real combat. With boxing gloves," Bruce says gently, "in a boxing ring, against another boxer, using boxing techniques. That's not street fighting. That's sport fighting, and it's excellent sport fighting. But it's still limited by its own context." The gym is watching this exchange with fascination. Some boxers are nodding at Marcus's points. Others are listening carefully to Bruce's logic. Old Man Davy is frowning, not liking where this is going. Marcus's jaw tightens. "You think you could do better? You think your kung fu dancing would work against a real fighter?" Bruce takes a breath. He didn't come here to fight. He came to train, to learn, to observe how boxers work, so he can integrate what's useful into his own understanding. But he's being challenged publicly, and backing down sends the wrong message, not just about him, but about martial arts in general. Bruce says, "I don't think kung fu is superior to boxing. I think limiting yourself to any single style is a mistake. A real fighter should be able to punch like a boxer, kick like a martial artist, grapple like a wrestler. Complete fighting requires complete study." "That's a nice philosophy," Marcus says. "But philosophy doesn't win fights. Training wins fights. Technique wins fights. Power wins fights. And in all those categories, boxing beats kung fu every single time." Old Man Davy calls out from the ring. "Marcus, show him. Put him in the ring for one round. Let him see what real fighting feels like." The challenge is now explicit. The entire gym is waiting to see how Bruce responds. He could walk away, could decline, could say he's not here to prove anything. But that would be running, and Bruce Lee doesn't run. Bruce sets down his towel. "One condition," he says. "What's that?" Marcus asks. "No boxing gloves, no rules. Just you and me, showing each other what we know. No referee, no rounds, just a demonstration. You show me boxing's effectiveness, I'll show you what I've learned. We stop when one of us says stop, or when something is clearly demonstrated." Marcus grins. This is even better than he expected. No gloves means he can really show this kung fu guy what a boxer can do. Old Man Davy looks concerned for a moment. No gloves means someone could get seriously hurt, but Marcus waves him off. "You got it, Kato. Let's dance." They both climb into the ring. The entire gym crowds around. 40 people pressed against the ropes, standing on benches, craning to see. This is about to become legendary, one way or another. Marcus takes his boxing stance, textbook perfect. Left foot forward, right foot back, hands up protecting his face, elbows protecting his ribs, weight balanced on the balls of his feet. He's a machine built for punching and not getting punched. 3 years of championship experience in every muscle. Bruce stands differently. Feet shoulder width apart. Right foot slightly forward, which confuses the boxers watching. That's not an orthodox or southpaw stance. His hands are lower than Marcus's, more relaxed. He doesn't look ready to fight. He looks ready to move. Marcus circles, professional, patient. He's fought enough to know not to rush. He throws a jab, testing Bruce's reaction time. Bruce isn't there. He's moved laterally, out of the line, not back like a boxer would. He's at an angle now. Marcus resets, throws another jab, faster. Bruce parries it with an open hand, redirecting rather than blocking. The motion is economical, minimal, just enough to move the punch past his face by inches. Marcus throws a combination, jab cross hook, fast, professional. The kind of combination that's put other fighters on the canvas. Bruce weaves through it like water. His footwork completely different from boxing footwork. He's not bobbing and weaving in the traditional sense. He's flowing, changing levels, changing angles, making Marcus punch at positions Bruce vacated a split second earlier. The crowd murmurs. This isn't what they expected. They expected Bruce to get hit, to get overwhelmed, to prove that Kung Fu doesn't work. But he's not getting hit. Marcus increases pressure, steps in with a body shot, then an uppercut. These are serious punches now. He's trying to hit Bruce, trying to prove his point. Bruce checks the body shot with his elbow, lets the uppercut pass by his ear close enough to feel the wind. He's reading Marcus's rhythm now, understanding his patterns, his tells, the subtle weight shifts that telegraph what's coming next. Then Bruce does something that changes everything. He stops moving defensively and throws a punch. But it's not a punch Marcus has ever seen before. It doesn't come from a chambered position. It doesn't wind up. It doesn't telegraph. Bruce's fist is just suddenly extending toward Marcus's face, traveling in a straight line from wherever it was to where Marcus's nose is. Marcus tries to slip it, but the punch is too fast, too direct, too unexpected. It stops 1 inch from his nose. Perfect control. Bruce holds it there for half a second, then withdraws. The message is clear. That punch would have landed, clean, hard. Marcus blinks, resets. That was luck. Had to be. He throws another combination, more aggressive now. Bruce evades the first 3 punches, then stops the 4th with an open palm strike to Marcus's solar plexus. Not hard, just enough to show placement. But Marcus feels it, feels the precision, feels that Bruce could have driven that strike through him if he wanted to. Now Marcus is frustrated. He's a champion. He's supposed to dominate. But he couldn't hit this smaller man who is moving in ways that don't make sense from a boxing perspective. Marcus tries to corner Bruce, cut off the ring the way boxers do. But Bruce doesn't move like a boxer. He doesn't respect the traditional ring geography. He circles at angles boxers don't expect, changes direction mid-movement, stops and starts with a rhythm that's impossible to predict. Then Bruce stops evading and engages. He throws a straight punch to Marcus's chest. Marcus blocks it easily with his forearm. Then Bruce's rear leg comes up in a sidekick to Marcus's leading knee, just touching, not striking, but showing that the leg was completely undefended. A boxer's stance doesn't protect against kicks. Marcus has never had to defend against kicks in a fight. His stance, perfect for boxing, is vulnerable in ways he never considered. Bruce demonstrates 3 more times in quick succession. A finger strike toward the eyes, stopped an inch away. An elbow to the temple, pulled at contact. A low kick to the rear leg, just tapping to show placement. Each technique would be illegal in boxing, but they're devastatingly effective. And Marcus has no training defending against them because boxing doesn't include them. The gym is completely silent. 40 boxers watching their champion being systematically dismantled by techniques they don't understand, by movements that don't fit their framework, by a fighter who respects boxing enough to show them exactly where its limitations are. Old Man Davy calls out, "Marcus, use your jab. Control distance." Marcus tries, throws his jab to keep Bruce at range. Bruce closes the distance faster than the jab can retract. Suddenly, inside Marcus's guard, too close for punching, perfectly positioned for elbows, knees, short strikes. Marcus clinches, trying to tie Bruce up the way boxers do. Bruce demonstrates a simple wrist lock that would break the clinch in the wrist simultaneously. Doesn't apply pressure, just shows position. They separate. Marcus is breathing hard, not from exhaustion, but from the mental strain of fighting against something completely unfamiliar. Bruce says quietly, so only Marcus can hear. You're an excellent boxer, truly excellent. But you've only trained to fight other boxers, in boxing contexts, with boxing rules. That's not your fault. That's just the limitation of specialization. Marcus stops, looks at Bruce, really looks at him, sees not an enemy, but a teacher showing him something he didn't know existed. Bruce continues, what if we combined what you know with what I know? What if you kept your incredible punching power and footwork, but added kicks when appropriate, added defenses against grappling, learned to fight without gloves? The gym is watching this quiet conversation, seeing Marcus's expression change from frustration to curiosity. Bruce steps back, addresses the whole gym. Boxing is beautiful. It's effective, proven, powerful. But fighting is bigger than boxing. A complete fighter studies everything: boxing, wrestling, karate, judo, kung fu. Takes what works from each, throws away what doesn't, creates their own style based on reality, not tradition. He looks at Marcus. You could be that fighter. You already have elite boxing skills. Add a few more tools and you'd be unstoppable. Old man Davy climbs into the ring. He's been watching carefully, seeing things he didn't want to see, seeing that his beloved boxing, which he's devoted his life to, might not be the complete answer he always believed it was. Davy says to Bruce, you held back every technique. You could have hurt him. Bruce nods. I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm here to learn and to teach. Fighting should make us better, not just win or lose. Davy considers this, then says something that shocks everyone. Will you teach us? Show us what you know. Bruce smiles. If you'll teach me more about boxing's footwork and combinations, I can always improve. What happens next becomes legendary in Los Angeles martial arts history. Bruce Lee begins coming to Tommy's boxing gym twice a week. He teaches the boxers about kicks, about defending against grapples, about fighting without gloves. In exchange, they teach him advanced boxing techniques, timing, ring generalship. Marcus becomes one of Bruce's closest students and training partners. He integrates kicks into his fighting style, learns to defend against takedowns, becomes the first boxer in California to publicly train in multiple disciplines simultaneously. 3 years later, Marcus fights for the national championship. In the 8th round, his opponent tries an illegal headbutt. Marcus, using Bruce's teaching, recognizes the setup and counters with a modified defense that's technically legal, but clearly influenced by martial arts thinking. He wins by knockout in the 9th. After the fight, reporters ask about his unique style. Marcus says simply, I learned that being a champion in one style doesn't make you a complete fighter. Bruce Lee taught me that. Changed my whole understanding of what fighting means. The story spreads through the fighting community. Boxing gyms across America start questioning whether limiting themselves to just boxing is wise. Some resist, some evolve, but the conversation has started. Old man Davy, in his final interview before retiring, says, Bruce Lee didn't prove boxing was wrong. He proved that being closed-minded was wrong. That staying curious and staying humble makes you better than staying superior and staying limited. Bruce Lee's philosophy: absorb what is useful, reject what is useless. Add what is specifically your own. Begins spreading beyond martial arts into boxing, wrestling, and eventually creates what we now call mixed martial arts. But it all started that Tuesday afternoon when a champion called Kung Fu dancing and a teacher showed him that real mastery means never stopping learning, never assuming you know everything, never letting your success in one area blind you to growth in others. The greatest fight Bruce Lee ever won wasn't against Marcus, it was against the idea that any single style holds all the answers. That victory changed fighting forever.